So, on July 24th, 2026, the 5.5e all-in-one mod got updated. Massively updated. So much so, in fact, that my previous video, the top 10 ways 5.5e fundamentally changes BG3, is officially outdated. Some of those changes that I iterated in that videos did stay, but a few reverted back to vanilla state and a whole bunch of brand new mechanics have been added. So today we're covering everything from reverted elixir mechanics to a quick hypothetical hex shooter build that changes how you look at warlocks. But firstly, let's get our terms straight so we don't get lost. Vanilla. When I say vanilla, I'm talking pure BG3 with no mods. PHB 2024. This was the original name that this mod started with. 5.5e all in one. This version is the version most of us are familiar with and the name that I have been using to describe this mod. 5.5e all in one beyond, which I will now shorten to beyond. This is the brand new update. Beyond is arguably as big of a leap from all in one as all in one was a leap from vanilla. The changes I'm going to be outlining are massive. So, let's break down the 10 points from my last video plus the 5 huge new ones to see what stayed, what changed, and what's brand new. Let's go! Number 1. Rework racial features. Stayed. So this feature basically removed Larian's extra weapon and armor efficiencies from elves, humans, and half-elves. A quick correction on my last video, shield dwarfs also retained their vanilla armor and weapon proficiencies alongside the Githyanki. Otherwise, this remains the same from all-in-one to beyond. Number 2. Background feats. You still get a bonus feat from your background at character creation. Now I'm gonna add one thing which will make much more sense a little bit later down the list. Just remember, background feats do not provide ability score increases. Keep that in mind as we go down the list. Number 3. Variant human rule. This has stayed but with tweaks. Variant humans still start with 2 feats, one from your background and one as a variant human. However, if you pick want to start as a Goliath or an Asimar or as Dampier or as a Changeling, instead of picking these options as a feat, quote unquote, they are now proper human subraces and able to be selected at the top row as shown here. You basically swap the extra feat that you get as a variant human to be one of these subraces. Plus, the UI actually turns red if you miss a selection. It's those little things that makes this mod really, really great. Number 4, reworked feats. They have been reworked again. So, every single feat in Beyond is now a half feat. That means on top of the main ability, you get a +1 to an ability score. It's either fixed or a pick your own. Yes, all of them. Even feats like Alert and Savage Attacker that didn't have those stat bumps before. Number 5. Rework movement. Stayed. Jumping still only uses movement speed instead of using movement speed and your bonus action. Mobile classes like monks, rangers, and rogues do get an insane value out of this, and I am still trying to find the best way to exploit it. It's coming along, be patient. Now, moving on from how you build your character to how items and gear work in this new Beyond era. Potions and magical items. Reverted. This is huge. All in one, changed strength elixirs to give additive bonuses. For example, you needed a base strength of 13, you needed to drink a Elixir of Hill Giant Strength, and you needed to get a wield the Club of Hill Giant Strength to reach a strength score of 21. Beyond reverts this back to what it is in vanilla. Strength elixirs set your stat to whatever it is instantly. Uh, 21 for Hill Giant Strength, 27 for Cloud Giant Strength. Same with Gloves of Dexterity. It now bumps your dexterity up to 18 instantly instead of providing you with a simple plus 3. Uh, Also, extra modded powers on items like the extra added power on the Gloves of Power that benefited the Scion of 3, the Rogue subclass, very, very specifically, have been stripped back. On top of this, magical items that could have been discovered during exploration, namely a lot of legendary items, have been removed. Number 7, loading property, gone, replaced with weapon mastery picks on level up. So crossbows, hand crossbows, and firearms no longer have the loading property mechanic, and the associated feats required to bypass the loading mechanic have been updated accordingly. So no extra feat tags, just to shoot multiple times with those weapons. On top of that, Beyond introduces weapon mastery as a standalone choice. Instead of mastery being tied directly to weapon types, you pick your mastery properties like Nick, Vex, or Sap, and then equip a matching weapon to utilize them. It makes dedicated weapon builds much more powerful, though it does restrict weapon choices if you want to make full use of your masteries. Uh, Number 8, class reworks and swaps. Subclasses got another tuning pass. Wizards, for example, can cast rituals again. This is true for almost every single class. They all have been reworked in one way, shape, form, or another. Sometimes the changes are pretty significant, sometimes they're pretty small. Now, the other thing that I want to touch on here is the added classes on top of the normal classes that we've gotten in vanilla. Artificer, Gunslinger, and Illrigger from All-in-One have remained, but the Scion has gone and replaced by the Monster Hunter. So we've still got 4 extra classes from Beyond, but one of them is now very different. Number 9, new subclasses. 21. You heard that right. 21 new subclasses added across the roster. This does include the 3 new subclasses that fall under Monster Hunter, the new class in itself, but still, that is 18 new subclasses for all the other classes that existed in All-in-One. Almost every single class gets a new, fresh option of a subclass to play with that wasn't in vanilla or in All-in-One. So I'm not even including in that count the new ones that were added in All-in-One and have still stayed. 21. Yoon Moon Sik, I salute you. So now, 21 subclasses is way too much to break down in one go or a single video. So I'm working on a dedicated subclass deep dive video to cover every single one of these in detail. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, do the subscribe thing or just check in every week, whichever you prefer. Number 10. One turn, one spell. Also scrolls. Stayed. You are limited to 1 level spell per turn, no matter what, okay? And for all you sneaky hobbitses out there thinking a scroll doesn't use a spell slot so I can quicken a spell scroll, no. Nice try, but no. If it normally costs a spell slot, it counts against your limit. Cantrips can still be spammed all day, but leveled spells are strictly one per turn from any source. No cheating. Number 11. Extra encounters. Gone. The surprise ambushes like extra goblins and drow at Walking's Rest, priestesses cuts extra guards in her room, or the added fake paladins of Tyr when completing Karlach's questline are no longer in the base mod. Walking's Rest is back to being the aftermath of the raid rather than you actually walking in during the raid. If you miss those fights, you will need the standalone extra encounters and mini bosses mod, which I am 90% sure all of those fights that I just mentioned, plus a few more, come from that mod. Number 12. Sangromancy spells gone, replaced with a whole lot of new spells. Rest in peace, Sangromancy, our favorite walking necrotic smite machines. The Sangromancy wizard is officially gone. I love that. There was also another, I think, a rogue that specialized in blood magic as well, but I never really used it as much. The Sangromancy wizard was my favorite, though. No more clinging to the back of the melee frontliners, fishing for crits so you can drop a massive reaction necro smite. I'm gonna miss it big time. But on the bright side, Beyond fills that gap with a whole bunch of brand new cantrips and leveled spells. Um, are any of them completely game breaking? Which ones are standing out as top tier? Could any of them even remotely think of dethroning Eldritch Blast as the undisputed king of combat cantrips? Pick a spellcaster and let me know. Number 13. Oh boy. Uh, don't come at me, I'm just the messenger. Smites now cost a bonus action. New rule, guys. Paladins and Warlocks, take note. Smites now cost a spell slot and a bonus action. So, how it works is you will hit as a weapon attack with your action. Normally, in vanilla, it's a free reaction for you to use your smite, right? It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't count as your reaction. It's one of those tricky little things that Larian did to try and, it is a reaction, but it's not. Beyond now counts using this smite as a bonus action. So no longer can you attack, dual wield, say, daggers, attack twice with the main hand, bonus action with your offhand, and smite um, each time. Yeah, not possible anymore. You get one, unless you have a way to get more bonus actions, one smite per turn, guys. Sorry, warlocks and paladins. Again, just a messenger. So yeah, resource management and action economy are now things you have to worry about, just like the rest of us. Number 14, the Hexblade rework. This one is massive and an example of how massive the rework for a lot of these subclasses and classes can be. Now, I'm not picking on the Hexblade, and neither am I saying that the changes I'm going to be outlining are bad. I'm just using Hexblade as an example of just how deep the changes Beyond makes to even the vanilla subclasses. So, Hexblade loses medium armor proficiency, shield proficiency, and bind hexed weapon. All very Hexbladey things, you will agree. You now have to take bind packed weapon at level 1 and then climb the invocation tree, thirsting blade, devouring blade, etc., to be a viable weapon user. But here's the twist. You can now make ranged weapons, your packed weapon, crossbows, hand crossbows, bows, guns, and you can also now Eldritch Smite at range. Combine those with Devil's Sight and Darkness, you are an untouchable sniper. It's the Hex Shooter, guys. Somebody make it. I want to see it. Go play it. Post a video. And number 15, the Long Strider returns. Long live the king. With wizards getting rituals back and full day duration spells being restored for some spells, Long Strider being one of them. Long Strider is back to being a top tier ritual spell, as it always should have been. It adds 3 meters, that is 10 feet in freedom units, movement speed to a character that it gets cast on for free, essentially, because it is now, again, a ritual spell. It lasts all day and doesn't go away on a short rest, unlike in All in One. Um, Now, in Beyond, you can't upcast it and basically target the entire party. You have to keep it casting at a first level, so you have to singly target each and every one of your party members that you want to apply to. You want to apply to all of them. And but for the benefit of a 33% increase in your movement speed at the cost of nothing other than just a few extra clicks, totally 100% worth it. I love this spell and I am amped that it is back. So, because 5.5e Beyond completely rewrites everything which we know about the game. Class abilities, spells, items, feats, subclass choices. Also, on top of these subclass deep dives, I want to create a overview class guide for every single class. Basically, how the class now works in the 5.5e Beyond rule set. What changes, what hasn't changed, what we can export from vanilla, and all of those things. Um, Basically, just to help you best plan out your builds. I'm not going to tell you what those builds should be in these overviews, just basically, like the Hexblade is now no longer really a frontline warrior, it's more like a black backline sniper kind of deal. If you want a very detailed build guide, that will be in the deep dive subclass builds, where I will most likely map out a build for a specific subclass, but it will be a solo build. For multi-class builds, that'll be another thing entirely. I don't know if I'll have any time for that because 19 subclasses. Jesus. Um, so, I won't be doing any of these classes or subclasses deep dives in any way, order of any sort. So if there's something that you really want to see, just leave a note in the comments. I read them all and I'll prioritize the first one that I see. And basically, it'll be first in, first served. Whichever one I see first, I'll make that video and I'll go down the comments as we go along. And there you have it, the 15 biggest changes in 5.5e All in One Beyond. Whew. So, is anyone going to be building the Hex Shooter? I want to see that. Or are you just happy to see Longstrider back? Let me know. If you found this breakdown helpful, drop a like, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the class and subclass guides coming next. And as Mole says,
Thanks. See you in Baldur's Gate, I hope. Now scram, before I get emotional.